Have you ever noticed how a single second of anger can ruin weeks, months, or even years of hard work? You try your best to stay calm, but the moment someone disrespects you or a mistake happens, a sudden heat rises in your chest. Your mind goes completely dark. You shout, you react, and then, minutes later, when the heat leaves your body, you are left sitting alone in the cold room of your own regret. You keep searching for peace, but the more you try to suppress your temper, the harder it feels. Some people believe that winning every argument gives them respect. Others think shouting louder proves their power. But after fighting every battle, they still lie awake at night with a heavy heart. If you are tired of losing your mind over things you cannot control, and if you want to stop letting rage ruin your life, then this story is for you. Welcome back to Timeless Wisdom Tales. Today, I want to share a powerful story about a gifted woodcarver named Marcus, a wealthy merchant named Garrick, and an ancient master named Kaelen. Listen closely until the very end, because a simple demonstration with a bowl of water revealed a truth that changed Marcus forever, and it might just change your life too. High in a mountain village, Marcus was known as the finest woodcarver in the land. His hands could turn plain oak into breathtaking art. Working beside him was his young apprentice, Ethan, an orphan boy who looked up to Marcus not just as a teacher, but as a father. Marcus had a heart of gold, but he suffered from a terrifying flaw, an explosive, uncontrollable temper. When small things went wrong, his blood boiled instantly, blinding his judgment. One evening, after 3 grueling months of work, Marcus finished his masterpiece, a magnificent carved wooden archway commissioned by the town's wealthiest merchant, Garrick. Garrick entered the workshop with a cold smirk. He inspected the delicate carving, ran his hand along the grain, and tossed a heavy iron coin on the floor. "Is this garbage what took you 3 months?" Garrick sneered arrogantly. "The left side is uneven. Fix it by tomorrow morning, or I will ruin your reputation across the valley and pay you nothing." Marcus's chest heaved. Blood rushed to his ears. "I spent 90 days poured into this wood," Marcus screamed, his voice shaking with violent rage. "Get out of my shop!" "You're a pathetic fool," Garrick spat, stepping back into the night. The moment the door slammed shut, something snapped inside Marcus. Blinded by fury, he grabbed a heavy iron hammer. Ethan screamed, "Master Marcus, no!" But it was too late. Marcus swung with all his strength, smashing the delicate archway into splintered dust. When the dust settled, the anger vanished instantly, leaving behind a crushing wave of horror. Marcus dropped the hammer, staring at his ruined work and Ethan's tear-filled eyes. In 10 seconds of rage, he had destroyed 3 months of his life. Desperate and broken, Marcus left the village before dawn to seek out Master Kaelen, a wise sage living in an ancient stone monastery high above the clouds. Ethan refused to leave his side and walked quietly behind him. When they arrived, Master Kaelen was sitting in a courtyard, tending to an old olive tree. Marcus fell to his knees, his hands trembling as he buried his face in the dirt. "Master, help me," wept Marcus. "A single moment of rage destroyed months of my work. I am a slave to my own temper.
Tell me how to destroy this monster inside me before it ruins my entire life." Master Kaelen looked at Marcus with deep, compassionate eyes. He didn't offer a lecture. He didn't offer empty words. Instead, he simply stood up and whispered, "Come to the hearth room." Inside the quiet stone kitchen, Kaelen placed a clay vessel filled with fresh water over a roaring fire. Within minutes, the water began to boil violently. Steam hissed into the air and bubbles crashed against each other in wild chaos. Master Kaelen pointed to the vessel. "Marcus, step forward, look deep into the water, and tell me what you see." Marcus leaned over the vessel, but the scalding steam stung his eyes, and the violently churning surface blurred everything into a white haze. "I can't see anything, Master," Marcus gasped, pulling back. "The steam burns my face, and the water is moving too wildly."
Master Kaelen quietly picked up an iron tool, lifted the boiling clay bowl off the fire, and placed it on a cool wooden counter away from the flame. "Now," Kaelen whispered, "we wait." For 2 long minutes, complete silence filled the room. The steam slowly drifted away. The violent bubbles died down. The surface of the water became entirely smooth, flat, and clear as polished glass. "Look again," Kaelen said gently. Marcus stepped closer and looked down. This time he saw his reflection with perfect clarity, his eyes, his face, and the quiet light shining through the window behind him. Master Kaelen looked deeply into Marcus's eyes. "Your mind is like this water. When Garrick insulted you, your heart was placed directly over the fire. Your thoughts boiled, your emotions churned in chaos, and the steam of your rage blinded your vision." Marcus swallowed hard, the truth hitting him like a physical blow. "So, when I picked up the hammer—" "When you picked up the hammer," Kaelen said softly, "you were not responding to Garrick. You were reacting to the blindness in your own eyes. In a moment of boiling rage, every single action you take is based on a distorted reality." Ethan stepped forward and asked, "Master, how do we stop the mind from boiling when the world throws heat at us?" Kaelen smiled gently. "You cannot stop people like Garrick from bringing heat into your life, but you can always choose to pull your bowl off the fire. When anger rises, do not speak, do not react, do not make a single decision. Step away, give your mind quiet space, for only when the surface settles can true clarity return."
Weeks later, Merchant Garrick returned to the workshop with 2 armed guards, expecting Marcus to cringe or fight back. He pointed at a new carving and sneered, "This looks mediocre. You craftsmen are all frauds." Ethan held his breath, his heart pounding in his chest, fearing Marcus would snap. Instead, Marcus closed his eyes for 3 long seconds. In his mind, he pictured the boiling clay bowl being lifted off the fire. He took a deep, quiet breath, letting his thoughts settle like calm water. When Marcus opened his eyes, there was no anger in them, only complete, unwavering clarity. He smiled softly and said, "If my work does not meet your standard, sir, you are free to seek another craftsman. I wish you a peaceful day." Garrick stood frozen. He had come expecting a screaming match, but found himself facing an unshakable wall of quiet dignity. Shamed by his own rudeness in front of his guards, Garrick silently placed full payment on the table and walked away. Ethan looked at Marcus in pure awe.
"Master, how did you stay so calm?" Marcus placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder and replied gently, "I used to think screaming made me strong, but today I realized keeping your peace while someone else boils is true strength." My friends, a calm mind will always make better decisions than a furious heart. You cannot stop the sparks from flying in this life, but you can always choose whether to let them boil your soul. If this story brought clarity to your heart today, leave a comment sharing a moment when stepping back saved you from regret. Subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Tales for more ancient lessons on mastering your mind. Take care of your mind, take care of your heart, and I will see you in the next story.